Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Neal, and members of the Ways and Means Committee. Thank you for inviting me back to testify today. My name is Talia Dror. I'm a recent graduate of Cornell University. 7 months ago, I described how directly after the October 7th attacks, my campus erupted in celebration. I explained how the anti-Semitic environment fostered by pro-Hamas students, professors, and administrators led to a Cornell student threatening to bomb our kosher dining hall and slaughter every Jew on our campus. I am here today to tell you that since then, blatant violations of Cornell's code of conduct continue, appeased and rewarded by my university. Now, these violations have been exposed for what they truly are, expressions not just of Jew hatred, but of a burning hatred for the United States itself. In December, students occupied our main building, vandalizing it with genocidal slogans and hoisting a Palestinian flag on an American flagpole. In January, student protesters chanted, "Houthis, Houthis, make us proud, turn another ship around." The Houthis are a US-designated terrorist organization whose slogan reads, quote, "God is great, death to America, death to Israel, curse on the Jews, victory to Islam." Throughout the month of February, protesters held weekly die-ins. I was in the library during the first die-in. I watched as hundreds of masked students lay on the floor and began chanting anti-Semitic slogans. As I watched alongside visibly disturbed students, I saw an administrator just standing there and watching, doing nothing to enforce Cornell's policies. A Jewish freshman who was studying there recognized me and began sobbing in my arms. As I held this girl, whose name I did not even know, I realized the gravity of the moment. Cornell's administration has made a decision to protect hateful radicals at the expense of everyone else. In the following weeks, Cornell's policy of appeasement resulted in classes constantly being canceled and exams needing to be moved as the pro-Hamas group wreaked havoc. Anti-American students stifle intellectual disagreement by threatening anyone who does not conform to their orthodoxy. On March 3rd, a Jewish student was accosted by a fellow student who approached her and yelled, "Effing Zionist scum. Yeah, I've seen you around, genocidaire. God forbid a Zionist feel unsafe." The university's investigation has been open for over 3 months now with no resolution in sight. On March 29th, a member of Cornell's student government refused to allow pro-Hamas students to break election rules. That night, a student told him that he better watch his back and that he would regret ever joining the student assembly. This should come as no surprise, as the administration not only allows these incidents to occur, it promotes the anti-Semitic ideology fueling them. As part of their education series on anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, the university sponsored a lecture by Sahar Aziz, who's currently being investigated by both the US House and Senate for espousing vile anti-Semitic propaganda. Cornell has also platformed a vocal pro-Hamas student who referred to Jewish students as, quote, "bloodthirsty Zionists only satiated by the blood of Palestinians," and claims that he does not take his cue from the Cornell Student Assembly, but rather from the armed resistance in Palestine, referring to Hamas. Next year, this student will be teaching an introductory course for incoming freshmen. On April 25th, Cornell students formed an encampment, blatantly violating the code of conduct. Encampers chanted phrases like "there is only one solution, Intifada revolution," a call to kill Jews worldwide. 3 weeks later, when the encampment was dismantled, the university issued a statement expressing gratitude that the students terrorizing campus somehow restrained themselves from physically carrying out their violent sentiments. All the administration had to do was enforce its existing rules. Instead, it chose to negotiate with the protesters, grant them immunity, and thank them for their self-restraint. The message was very clear. Rules are meaningless, and lawlessness is rewarded. Let me be very clear. The hostile environment I have just described to you pervades campuses all across the country, from Harvard to UC Santa Barbara, from UCLA to Yale. American universities have allowed themselves to be controlled by vicious chants, rule-breaking, and anarchy. If they wish to continue benefiting from government funding, they must start upholding American values rather than bowing to those who wish to see this country burn. My tuition has subsidized the indoctrination of a generation that hates our country. It would be a disgrace for even one more taxpayer dollar to do the same. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.